Zuhr, we make 4, 4, and 2, that's 10. So in Zuhr time, we recite the Al-Fatiha 10 times. And then also we make 4 rak'ahs, and in each one of those rak'ahs we say the Al-Fatiha. That'd be 4 times. And so it goes, if you add them up, I've forgotten, it's 30, I think 31 rak'ahs, I've forgotten exactly how many it is, but every time we recite the Al-Fatiha, every time we pray, we must recite the Al-Fatiha, meaning that we are repeating. So not only is it a specific concern for, as far as learning the language is concerned, that we repeat, but our religion requires us to repeat. Repetition improves comprehension. If it's not improving your comprehension, that means you're just reciting by rote and you're not paying any attention to what you're saying. If you pay attention to what you're saying, each time you recite the Al-Fatiha, you're going to get a little more understanding of it. And we never get through reviewing the Al-Fatiha. We never get through repeating it. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know, don't think that, oh, genius, he don't know nothing, he just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. Well, that's what you do in your religion. You repeat the same thing over and over again. The Al-Fatiha over and over and over again. I was talking to one of my riders on Uber about the significance of repetition. She was a Muslim, and she was getting ready to show me up in the language until I said a few words, and then she got quiet. When I made a few points, not conversational, but just made a few points and showed about the words. And so she had already inquired about what I did before I was driving Uber. And so she when she got out, she said, "So now you the Uber chaplain." So she gave me a new title, Uber chaplain. Okay. Today, I want to present to you a dua that I say, I don't know how many times a day. I say, not just at formal prayer time, but I say it all the time, all during the day. But I looked it up this morning because I didn't realize that it was a dua that was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ at a specific occasion, because it has such universal application. The part that I had forgotten that there's more to it. There's another whole ayat. This dua, the part that I'm presenting to you today, starts at the end of the 4th ayat of the 60th chapter. That's where it is, at the end of it. And it goes like this: Rabbana alayka tawakkalna wa ilayka anabna wa ilayka al-masir. And the occasion that this was revealed on was after a secret letter had been intercepted. It was after the Muhajirs, after they had migrated to Medina. To Medina. So this is a Medina ayat, Medina revelation. And this particular Muhajir, his name was Hatib, and he had left some of his children and other relatives in Mecca. And so he wrote a very compromising letter back to the pagans to try to get them to have, to protect his family, he left behind. But the letter was intercepted, and the letter was very, very friendly, I'm kind of like, I don't have the content of the letter, but it was something like this, like, I'm over here, I'm here in Medina right now, but I really love y'all back there. And so if you read the ayat, the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd ayat, and part of the 4th ayat, you'll see where the instructions were revealed to the Prophet to tell the believers not to be in love with those who are your enemies. That's what this particular ayat is related. This particular dua is coming to tell them, put your trust in Allah. That's what this is specifically for Hatib to let him know. Don't be trying to worry about trusting the welfare of your relatives and your children to the pagans back there when they have run your prophet out and run you out. Put your trust in Allah. Don't be trying to make such a, well, we're going to leave this one because that's Hatif's son there, that's Hatif's daughter. No, put your trust in Allah, because even your enemies cannot do you any harm unless Allah permit it. So, but this, like I say, I've been saying this dua over and over, and didn't reflect on it until this morning when I read it. I said, oh, it is revealed for a specific occasion, but it has universal application. All right, because so nothing was, even though it revealed a specific occasion, that don't mean that it ends right there. That means that we're supposed to see how it applies to our lives also. And one of the most significant aspects of significant shortcomings of African American people is this very first instruction here, wakala, where it says, Rabbana alayka tawakkalna. We don't trust each other. We're not talking about trusting the enemies, but we don't trust each other. We should trust each other, because in this, when you read the whole passage, you find out that the believers are instructed that you're the protectors of each other. And we should trust each other, have trust in each other. We shouldn't be trying to cut each other up, make the other one look bad. If there's a shortcoming in your brother or your sister, go to that brother and sister and talk to them as if it were you, the way you would want to be talked to. Okay, so the key word that although there's three aspects in this surah, in this ayah, and that is trust and forgiveness from Allah, and then acknowledging that we know we have to return to Him. Trust in Allah for everything, seek forgiveness from Him, and always be aware that all of us have to return to Him. And in that particular aspect, although it's not in the ayat, the significance of knowing that you have to return to Allah is that Allah knows everything. And nothing escapes Him. He knows everything we do and say and think, even what we think. And do you know, if you think a bad thought and then don't act on it, don't do it, do you know you get credit for good? If you think a bad thought, you think of something bad you're going to do, and then you don't do it, Allah is so generous until He gives you credit for it. Why? Because you abandoned the bad. That's a good deed. That's a good deed. Yes, you did. You had that. You had Shaitan whispered to you, and it sounded logical to you. You planned to do it, and come time to do it, I'm not going to do that. And Allah said, give him a good one. That's good. And say you'll get credit for good as if you had planned to do good. Okay. So, but today what I wanted to do, because I'm hoping that you heard the first part of what we said about the importance of repetition, and that you might consider making this dua a part of your repertoire, part of the duas that you make. Dua is not made just at the end of prayer after we make taslim. That's not the only time we make dua. We should be making duas all day long. All day long. Do you know that? All day long, because we can't do anything. Everything that we do is dependent upon Allah, whether or not Allah grants us. So we should be making dua, pleading to Him, asking Him to help us, to guide us, and so forth, all the time. All the time. All right? And the word dua, and then we're going to deal with the syllabication of this ayat. The word dua is coming from the same word as da'wah. Now, da'wah is that's your name too, isn't it, da'wah? Yes, I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't have that planned like that, but there you are. All right, so da'wah. Okay, so da'wah, it means, in religious terminology, it means to invite to the religion, to invite others to do right. But it comes from a word that means a legal procedure, like a lawsuit. The same word is used for a lawsuit. And I point this out to you because sometimes we make dua and we don't realize that our dua is really nullified by our behavior. Because the dua's got to be legal. Meaning you can't be saying one thing and doing another. That's what I mean. You be, oh Allah protect me, and then you going into the dangerous haram situations on your own. Remember the one about the man who was praying, yeah Allah, he just begging Allah. And so some of the believers asked the Prophet, why doesn't Allah help me? He prays so hard. And the Prophet says, look, his clothes are haram. His food is haram. So begging Allah's not going to do any good, and you steady tread along in all the mud you get. Oh, keep me clean, Allah. And you're rolling over in the mud. No. Okay. So I have this ayat written up here in 2 different ways. This is just Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim up here at the top. And I left off a sukoon, so let me put the sukoon up here. I'll probably be running into some more stuff that I missed. But, so I have regular writing up here. This is not Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. It's not syllabic. This first line is not syllabic. It's just written up here. All right. But the dua, which as I told you is not the beginning of the ayat, it's at the end of the 4th ayat. It begins here. And so this line here is written regular writing. And then I had to erase and go down here because in the syllabication, when you start seeing different colors, black, red, black, red, that's each one of those are syllables. What is a syllable? Who can tell me what a syllable is? Yes, ma'am.
And pronunciation is the breaking up of a word into many small parts in order that you can pronounce it better.
She's absolutely right.
Celebrated.
Syllabicated. She's absolutely right. And a little improvement upon that the syllable is the smallest pronounceable part of a word. And you can't skip them, even if you try. Every human being speaks and reads in syllables. Some of them speak and read in syllables faster than others. And so we have to ask them to slow down. But every one of them. And so now what constitutes, that's the definition of a description of a syllable. What constitutes a syllable is to have a vowel sound. That's the minimum constitution of a syllable, a vowel sound. Now it can be extended, so where the syllable has a vowel sound that's pronounced. That's one. So that'd be syllable type 1. If we want to give them types. Syllable type 1 would be a vowel sound only. In English, we have the word a. That's one syllable. And also one vowel, right? Now we have other single syllable words that have more than just a vowel, but they'll all if a word is a single syllable word, it's only going to have one vowel sound in it. Or one vowel sound, okay? But
grammatical question you get.
Well, praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. It's detailed. And although I have said it before, but I repeat it, and I'm hoping that it will become a part of your, the way you see language. I don't want to make this brother's head big, but Brother Anthony is picking it up real good on the Lifeline in the morning. He's picking it up real good on Sunday morning. I can tell the way the questions he has. And so we are actually going on now on the Lifeline, and I invite all of you to do this. We didn't have class this morning. I was kind of running out of steam, and I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do double duty today, so I didn't have the class today. But every Sunday morning, after we play, Brother Imam Rasul plays a lecture of Imam Muhammad, and it ends right around 7 o'clock. Then we have Quranic Arabic discussion. But we're going much further than what we do here. And so it's why I'm telling you this, because by having it every Sunday, it gives us an opportunity to get back to it before it fades away. Once a month, I used to always say once a month is really not just enough. We know that we were going to come up with the every Sunday thing, but once a month is really just not enough. You can get something, but it takes so long because you always need to try to remember what you had before. Okay. Yes. It's the same as phonics. It's just more detailed. I'm giving the details, okay? And there's one error that they make in phonics that I don't use, and that is that in phonics they say that the consonants have sounds, and that's an error. And I used to teach phonics, so I used to teach that myself, so I had to correct myself once I started studying Arabic. Consonants do not represent sound. You know, we have 26 letters in the English alphabet, and the consonants, they say, are 5, A, E, I, O, U, and then, of course, sometimes W and sometimes Y, okay? So it makes 7 and all. But you can, I'm saying vowels, thank you, I said consonant vowels, vowels, yes, okay. But you can look in a dictionary. I know all of them don't have it like this, but some dictionaries tell you that a consonant is a non-vowel sound. And it's not. It doesn't even claim. The word doesn't claim that it represents sound. The word consonant. Con in the English language means with. With. All right. Sonant comes from sonar, meaning sound. So consonant letters go with sound. And they go with sounds in two possible ways. Either making the sound from the consonant position, or making the sound and stopping the sound in a consonant position. That's what consonants do. That's how they go. They are positions. They represent positions in which we start or stop making sound. And so in case there's someone here who maybe hasn't been here this when we first started a couple of years ago, I'll give you this example. I like it. So I'll use it again. Okay, we know the vowel. Just name the vowel sounds, right? A, E, I, O, U, and then of course sometimes W, sometimes Y. Now we want to know what is the first consonant letter, and I'm demonstrating something. Now, what is the first consonant letter in English? Who wants to tell me what the first consonant letter is? I said E already. When I named it, I said A, E, I, O. I said E already. But I said E. Oh, I guess maybe I have to demonstrate now. Now this is one of my former students from back at the University of Islam, but I'm gonna have to teach him that I'm still a teacher. All right. So ask me to say what the first consonant letter is in English.
What is the first consonant letter?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Okay. No sound? I don't have to say E from there. I can say boo. I can say ooh from there. I can say babe. I don't have to say E from there. See, you went there and then you said E, and I told you we'd already used E. No. It's just a position. And then you can make any vowel sound from that position that you want to. Or you can stop any vowel sound in that position. So I take that same, and instead of saying, now you put the E after us, I'll put the E before it, and I'll say Eve. That's the same letter, right? Eve. The same letter. Consonants represent positions in which to start or stop making a sound. And it's not easy to see in English as it is in Arabic, because it's so plain in Arabic, it just jumped off the page at you know. And I didn't get this from any university. Allah just blessed me to see it. All right, Allah just blessed me to see it. All a consonant can do is give you a position in which to start or stop making a sound. That's all one consonant can do. All right. So the second consonant then, the first consonant in the English letter then is what? I don't want to hear a thing. I want to, that's right, I want to see position. Now, I like that one because it's so easy to see. But all of your consonants require you to use a vowel sound in order to say their names. See, that's what you did. You added a vowel sound in order to say the name.
That's right.
And they really don't, you can't even, that shows you that the consonants do just what they say. They go with vowel, with sound. So not. They go with sound, all right? And you can't even say the name of a consonant except that you use a vowel sound either before or after that position. All right? Okay, so that's a kind of a review. Some of y'all missed it the first time. We had fun with it again. Yes, ma'am.
Is that a part of the diphthong?
No, a diphthong is two when we pronounce two different vowels together to produce a new sound. Like and e. We pronounce it together with a. So they teach us in English, I used to teach it myself, that a is a vowel. A is not a vowel. A is a diphthong.
Not enough.
A is not a vowel even in English. So even though they call it a vowel, they call it a vowel, but it's not. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to show you. Get your dictionary and look up this word.
I know.
What is that word?
I can't see it. Caesar?
That's what we call it, Caesar. Anybody here speak Spanish? Cesar. Say. And then this letter and this letter is not the same. And in the dictionary, they still listed like this, like I have it here, with the E and the A tied together. Cesar, not Caesar. We call it Caesar, but it's actually Cesar. And any Hispanic person will tell you it's Cesar. All right. Okay. So.
That's what we're going to mix it up.
Okay. You get ready to make a point? Oh, okay. You look like you were about to say something. All right. So the diphthong, that's what we're talking. A is really a diphthong. They used to make it like this, and they stopped doing it. And then they forgot. Which shows you that the English-speaking people have forgotten their own language, and then Allah causes one of his believers, that's me, born on a dirt road in Arkansas, raised with outdoor toilets and pump water, chopped cotton, and then he blessed me to see what they have forgotten. Now that in itself, I mean, I don't call myself a miracle, but that little bit of knowledge there is a miracle. That's a miracle that Allah would. I'm not a graduate of SR University or any big university. I went to Chicago State before it was a university. All right, I helped them to get to be a university. Okay, but that's a great blessing to our community right there to show you that Allah will take someone. This time of the year we'd be debating on whether or not it was time to wear shoes. I'm just letting you know what in my environment. All right? We were barefoot during the summer, all right? And of course we put shoes on to go to church, you know. But the rest of the week, we couldn't wait for the weather to get warmer. Mama, can I take my shoes off? No, but it's too cool out there. Don't take your shoes off yet. All right. And then of course sometimes we take them off in the spring of the year, and by the time that come time to put the shoes back on again, they do have to pass them out to the next one because the foot got too big. Okay, I just thought I'd share that with you. But yes, so the question you asked, diphthongs are vowels, but it's two vowels pronounced together to produce a new sound. And we have 4 of them, 4 diphthongs. They don't teach you this in the Arabic books. They say there are 2. There are 4, and they are in the Quran. All right, they're in the Quran. So, and if they read in the Quran, they read them as diphthong and don't recognize that they are because they don't know how to define a diphthong. A diphthong is when 2 vowels are pronounced together to produce a new sound. So we had that question came up last Sunday. We were reciting from reading Surah Nabat.
Is that with the shutdown?
No, shadda is something else. No, shadda has to do with doubling. We had a shadda. This. She's dropping everything she knew on. This is the shadda, little mark up here. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, sister. But unless you know you remember something. The shadda means that the letter is double. Okay, but I was trying to remember the 20th ayat. I remember that sister. I think she was from Florida, wasn't she? I think she was from Florida. I'm saying this to you to try to encourage you so that you will get more involved in studying if you're not already. And she asked a question way down in the surah. All right, wait. I'm thinking that they may have some questions from the first line or something like. She asked a question from the 20th ayat, and here's the ayat right here. Okay, it says 20th. Okay. Was sweet ye ratil jibalu fakanat saraba. And the word she was asking about was the second word. Wa is the first word, and sweet ye rati. Sweet ye rati. Sweet we. That's the part she was asking about, right? We. That means that she's paying attention. And I'm not saying you're not paying attention, and that's the way that we haven't even gotten the syllabication out to them yet. We just reading it, but she is applying the syllabication process, and she went way down to the 20th ayat, and that word, and any Arabic speaking person, when they read that, they're going to say sweet yira. Let me just write it on the board so you can see what we're talking about. Yeah.
You know, I was a student of Deen Imam and Brother Imam Daniel.
Pardon?
I was a student of...
Oh, yes, okay.
Yes,
Yes, saw Brother Daniel at the convention. Was glad to see him. All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
the word is sweet ye. Sweet irati, that's the word. And of course, was in front of it. Was, that's another word. Was. And so let's break that down into syllables. So the first syllable here, that's wa, is a syllable by itself. Then the next syllable here, in this.
You blocking us.
Okay, I'm gonna move, sister. I would be invisible, but I forgot how to do it.
More practice, brother.
More practice. All right. You're ready today, Sister Mel, I'm telling you. And then I'm doing the same thing here that we did at the sweet. And then there's two of them here, so we got ye, sweet ye, and then raw. And then we're gonna finish up what we have on the T. Now this is what we're doing now, sharing with you what happened over the phone. We don't even have a board. We're just on the phone. All right. But I think we made it plain to us. So here, and this is the part she was talking about right here. See, the E has a shat down on it. It means there's two of them. One of them goes back with the U. One of the E's go back. So it's we. That's a diphthong. The Arabic books do not teach you that. They say the diphthongs are A and A. True. I had one of our brothers who has made his transition now, but he accepted it right away when I showed it to him. That's Brother Johnny Shabazz. And he passed him when he made his transition. I think he was down in Decatur. Okay, but he walked up and told me one day, there's only two diphthongs, brother, because that's what he's seen in the book. Allah showed me more. Okay, so this is diphthong. Ui, and then ui, and then ye. See, because there's two of them here. The E goes with the ui, and then the ye. Ui, sweet ye rati. All right. So, and that's I'm gonna now go. I'll just draw a circle around this so you can still look at it. And then we're gonna go and do what we have on the board here today, and we'll close it out. So here is the regular writing. Rabbana alayka tawakkalna wa ilayka anabna wa ilaykal masir. See, I skipped these two lines here because this is a syllabication. So you notice in this line, and this line, every other syllable is a different color. And I did that just so you can see it easily. Okay, that's all. There's nothing scientific on that. It's just so that it's easy for you to see, because I know these little funny looking letters up here may not have been real to you yet. That's what Brother told me at State there one day. He asked me, how you spell sukoon? So I wrote it on the board in Arabic. I mean real letters. I wrote it. So, but these are real letters. But hopefully you'll come to accept them as real letters. So what we did here with this first line, this and this is the syllabication of this line. First syllable, Rabb. Rub. See the shut down, that's your shut down you asking about, Sister Melba. The shut down on this, so that means there's two of these. One here that goes with the rub, and then one here, rub back. Right here, this is all we've got. We haven't got in front of this when we get right here. Rub back.
Okay, now what the mark up over there tells us what?
Those are the vowel sounds. They're called holocaust. Those are the vowel sounds. All of the marks above, those are short vowels, I should say, short vowel. Okay. If the vowels are marked above or below, unless it looks like this. This is a sukoon, meaning that we didn't intend to put a vowel sign on, but we didn't want you to think we forgot. Okay,
but you
so
have to know all of that in order to pronounce it correctly.
In order to pronounce it and know what you pronounce it, and know now you can pronounce it correctly. I say it and you say it. That's called rote. Rote memory. I mean, you just learn because I say it, you said I say it. But to know what you're saying, yes, you have to recognize all those marks. All right. There's little slant marks. And even made like this. If it's a mark above or below, unless it looks like this, and I use this one. Some of you may have been on the other Arabic instructors, and they don't use this one, and because it's much easier just to make a little circle. They'll use this. They'll use a little circle. I'm not saying that this is superior to the circle, but I'm saying this is what you're going to run into when you're reading the Quran. You're not going to run into these in the Quran except one time. I don't mean one situation, and that is when they have the aleph and they want you to know that it's specifically sukoon. All right. Otherwise, and so you don't find, I don't know how many of them there are in the Quran, but these are the sukoons in the Quran. This is what they look like. Okay. And I forgot to put a sukoon here.
I didn't mean to monopolize.
No, that's all right, sister. You're helping to bring stuff out that needs to be brought out. All right. No, do not hesitate to ask questions. And even though you were asking questions from different things, which means that they're in your mind, but you need clarification on it. So you ask about shadda, you ask about diphthongs, and now sukoon. We're talking about sukoon. So, and if it's in your head, but you don't have clarity on it yet, then the best way to get clarity on it is to bring it out. What is this that's in my head?
I can't give the thing a name.
Right. So there's nothing wrong with that. She brought out stuff that I hadn't planned to talk about today. But nevertheless, it must need to be talked about if it was in her head. But yet she didn't know what it was. So there's nothing wrong with what you did. Nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, I appreciate it. Okay? Because there's nothing that makes the presentation duller to me than to get up here and I do all the time. Nobody says anything. Just sit there. And don't say anything. Get involved, and that's how that. So you know that babies learn to talk faster when the parents talk to them, or somebody now, or a sibling talks to them. If you have a child and you don't talk to the child, that child's gonna be slow talking. When you talk to, I've had riders bring it and sit back there and and I compliment every one of those mothers. Talking to that child like that child is done, so and so and so. Little children. Sometimes they can't even respond back, they're just looking at them. That's good. It improves their verbal skills. They're gonna be able to verbalize, but it will be much more of a delay than if you talk to them. Okay, so nothing wrong with what you did. Okay, so now we're gonna do the syllabication of this first line. Remember in the syllabication, up here, the red is representing the vowel sound in the regular writing. And then down here, when you see every other section, every little section is in different color, that means that these are different syllables. So the first syllable is rub, second syllable, back. Rub, back. And that is Lord. Rabbana, that is our Lord. Rabbana. That's now we finish one word. And then we have I lay ka. I lay ka is the singular form of alaykum. So you know what alaykum is already, you use it all the time. Assalamu alaykum. And you should never heard a speech of Imam Mohammed recently. You should never, we don't speak to each other, assalamu alaykum and assalamu alaykum. Even though it's not grammatically wrong to speak to one person like that, for a brother, assalamu alaykum. Actually, for either one, if you're just going to do that, then you just say assalamu alaykum. And that's it, because you drop the cat, the E, and A, and the E. It's at the end of the expression. And so you don't say assalamu alaykum. So if you are saying it, then you shouldn't say, you should say assalamu alaikum. And that takes care of it for either male or female. But we speak in the improved, enhanced meaning of it. Meaning, as I speak to you, I'm speaking to the whole of creation. We should have learned that when nobody is present. And we closing out the prayer, we say, what? Ain't nobody there but you. Assalamu alaikum. Kum. Meaning, all creation, the walls and everything. You know, I read one time, a long time ago, where it says that everything in creation is going to be able to witness what you do. So I used to remember that when I was going to hotels a lot, when I was traveling more. And I said, no, probably nobody's ever made prayer in this room before. But this wall going to bear witness, and I was here. Yeah. And I ran into a brother one day in Arkansas. And he knew he had lived in the Chicago area in Hazelcrest. And he knew the young lady that grew up next to me, right next door to me. I didn't know that they could hear me making that bad. So when he said, he told her, asked her when he found out she lived in Markham, and asked her, did she know me? Yeah, I know him. Everybody. She hear that there. So she didn't know what it was, but she heard it, you know. But anyway, witnesses. So she'll have to witness. She can't. So she's gonna be one of my witnesses in the hereafter. Have you ever lived next door, Gene Muhammad? Yes, Lord. Did you hear him make that there? Yes, I heard it. Why didn't you answer? Because it's an invitation, right? Why didn't you answer? You heard it and then you don't answer? Okay. All right. So here this first line goes here, and then the rest of it is down here. It's actually only this is the actual writing here. Rabbana alayka tawakkalna wa ilayka anabna wa ilaykal masir. And then the syllabication. Rabb ba na I lay ka ta what. See, this is right, but go two of these, so one of them go back with it. Whack. And then the other one, kel, na, wa, e, lay, ka. And, well, I missed it. Lay, ka. Oh. Lay. I don't want to. Oh, yeah, this just this word here. Nab, na. That's the syllable here. Read it. Nab, na. And then the rest of this is down here. Wa ilay kel masir. And that's wa ilay kel masir. All right. And there's a consonant. A sukoon here. Okay. And we don't put anything here. We drop the vowel sound, but we don't add any. You can't. First of all, you never have two written sukoons.
Sukoon, don't pronounce it?
No, sukoon means that there's no vowel sound there. That's what sukoon literally means. That there's no vowel sound, and they use the sukoon so that you know that the writer didn't forget to put a vowel sign there. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Sister Melville. Very good contribution. Anyone else have any questions or comments before we close out? The key, not only to learning Arabic, but to learning any language, is syllabication. Otherwise, you're just saying what somebody said. You don't know what you're saying. You're just saying it because somebody else said it. And that's basically where we are with English. That's basically where we are with English. We just say it because that's the way people say it. And we don't even argue about it. So we'll have a word. I give you have a word that's spelled 3 different ways, and all of them pronounced the same way. Don't you know we should have had a rebellion? Wait a minute, you're going to tell me that right is R-I-G-H-T, and then the next time you tell me right is W-R-I-G-H-T, and now you're going to tell me right is R-I-T-E. What you talking about? You must think I'm a fool or something. I can see this is different. But you don't have that in Arabic. We do not have that. Not one situation do we have like that in Arabic.
That's a homonym, synonym, and adjective.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with there. But they don't. A homonym is not supposed to be sounding exactly like it. It's just supposed to be sounding similar, harmonizing with it, according to the word harmonize. It didn't say same name. It says harmonize, meaning similar, harmonize. When you have a harmonize, you have people singing, they harmonize. That don't mean each one of them have the same voice. They just blend their voices.
It's a very complicated to find a definition that will give you a clear meaning of an antonym.
Yes.
Very hard.
And actually, so long as you mention that, now those three words that sound just alike don't have anything to do with each other's meaning. Isn't that something? Seems like they would be similar or something. They have nothing to do with each other's meaning. Rite has to do with rituals. W-R-I-T-E has to do with penmanship. And R-I-G-H-T has to do with right. And there's another one also that people use for their name. W-R-I-G-H-T. What people use for their name. So there's actually 4 spellings for the same word. All right. We don't have, so that should encourage you with learning the Arabic to say, well, at least I don't have to put up with that. All right. Any other questions or comments before we close out? We ask Allah, Rabbana Atina. Rabbana Atina Hikmah. Our Lord, give us wisdom. Rabbana ilna wa hikmah. Give us knowledge and wisdom. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
And again, thank you, Sister Mel. She made me get on down and do what I had to do. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, did something come off? Right in your pocket.
It looked like
Yeah, let me see it. I got some more stuff in this. It's in there.
I might have to get off.
I didn't do that deliberately.
I'd like to thank Imam Deen. Excellent presentation. And he made me think about that. They say that bread is a staff of life. I think they used to say Wonder Bread or something like that. Bread was a staff of life. And if you take the B off of bread, you got